You're lying! This flight isn't meant for people in your class. Leave before security throws you out.
Go ahead. Let's check the computer and prove your point.
Don't do it! There's no need to check anything. She's wasting everyone's time.
The rain at the Apex Aviation Terminal in Chicago was relentless. A gray sheet of water hammered against the sleek glass facade. Apex was the playground of the 1%, the gateway for hedge fund managers and tech moguls. Inside, the air smelled of white tea and expensive leather. It was a sanctuary of silence, except at the entrance. Serena Cross had pushed through the revolving doors, shaking off her umbrella. She looked nothing like the typical clientele. There were no designer trunks trailing behind her, no entourage of assistants. Serena was dressed in a pair of worn-in charcoal joggers and an old university hoodie. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun. To the untrained eye, she looked like a tired graduate student who had taken a wrong turn. She was exhausted, coming off a 48-hour coding marathon, followed by a cross-country flight to finalize the most significant acquisition of her life. She walked toward the polished marble reception desk. Behind it stood Nate, a young new concierge who looked terrified. He opened his mouth to greet her, but Marcus Hale, the general manager, marched out of his office and cut him off. Marcus viewed the terminal as his personal fiefdom. He categorized people the moment they walked in: net worth, social standing, utility. When he looked at Serena, his internal calculator returned a value of 0. "Can I help you?" Marcus asked, his tone suggesting he wanted to do anything but. He stepped between Serena and the desk. "I'm checking in for a flight," she said, her voice raspy. "Tail number N Alpha 109er. Marcus let out an incredulous huff. "That is a Global 7500, a $70 million aircraft. Listen, sweetheart, I don't know who you're trying to impress, but if you're part of the cleaning crew, the service entrance is by the dumpsters. You cannot stand here dripping water on my marble." "I am the passenger," Serena said steadily. "Check the manifest, Marcus." The use of his first name made him flinch. "It's Mr. Hale to you, and I don't need to check a manifest to know you don't belong here. We have a standard of decorum. Now leave, or I will have you physically removed." Serena reached into her pocket. "Don't," Marcus yelled, flinching as if she were reaching for a weapon. Serena slowly pulled out a sleek black titanium card. She placed it on the counter, sliding it toward Nate. "Nate, please check the system for Dr. Serena Cross." "Don't you dare touch that, Nate," Marcus roared, snatching the card before the young man could grab it. He didn't even look at the name. "I'm giving you 10 seconds to leave. 1. "Marcus, you are making a very expensive mistake," Serena said. 3. "I'm calling the police," Marcus announced. He snatched the landline. "Nate, call security. Tell them we have a trespasser." Nate didn't move. He was looking at the computer screen. His face had gone completely pale. "Mr. Hale," Nate whispered. "Sir, you need to look at this." "Not now, Nate. I'm handling the trash," Marcus shouted into the receiver. The silence that followed was broken only by the dial tone. Marcus expected Serena to run. Instead, she watched him with the clinical detachment of a scientist observing a lab rat. Within minutes, 2 police officers entered the lobby. Finally, Marcus smirked. "Officers, this woman is a trespasser. I want her removed, and I want to press charges." At that exact moment, the door to the tarmac flew open. Captain Rivera, a pilot with 4 stripes on his shoulders, stormed in. "Dr. Cross," he shouted, frantic. Marcus turned, confused. "Captain, what are you doing? Something wrong with the jet?" Rivera ignored him, sliding across the marble to reach Serena. "Ma'am, are you all right? I saw your text." "Captain, you know this woman?" Marcus stammered. "Shut up, Marcus," Rivera barked. He turned back to Serena, bowing his head. "Ma'am, the jet is prepped. I'm so sorry about the delay." "It's fine, Captain," Serena said, "but Mr. Hale here has called the police to have me arrested." The pilot looked at Marcus with pure horror. "You did what? You idiot. This is Dr. Serena Cross. She is the CEO of Cross Dynamics, and as of 4 o'clock this afternoon, she is the new owner of Apex Aviation." He paused, letting the words land like a stone. "Marcus, she is your boss." The silence in the room was suffocating. The police sergeant looked at the black titanium card Marcus was still holding, and pulled up the airport database on his belt device. A VVIP flag blinked red, a notification reserved for heads of state. Cross, the sergeant said, his tone shifting to deep respect. My apologies. The dispatch log described a homeless individual. An honest mistake by a dishonest man, Serena replied, her eyes locked on Marcus. By now, 2 high-profile influencers who had been waiting in the corner were recording everything on their phones. Oh my God, one whispered. That's the biotech billionaire. This guy is toast. Marcus went pale. This is a setup. You came in here dressed like that on purpose. I came in here dressed for comfort after a 14-hour workday, Serena corrected. You trapped yourself. You had 3 chances. You chose to insult me, threaten me, and call the police, because you treat people based on what you think they are worth to you. The sergeant stepped forward. Filing a false police report is a crime, Mr. Hale. Please, Marcus whispered, realizing the gravity. Dr. Cross, can we discuss this in my office, away from the cameras? No, Serena said. We won't go to your office, because it's not your office anymore. She crossed the room and sat in one of the pristine leather armchairs Marcus had claimed were only for winners. She gestured for Nate to bring the operational tablet. Nate, she said gently, bring me the HR controls. You did your job perfectly today. Marcus stood in the center of the room, alone. Dr. Cross, I've been the manager here for 10 years. You can't just disrupt operations over one misunderstanding. Serena swiped a finger across the iPad. One misunderstanding, Marcus. I have the internal logs here. Last month, you fired a janitor for making eye contact with a client. You have 3 pending lawsuits for hostile work environment. And now I have video evidence of you discriminating against your own employer. She stood and picked up a pair of scissors from the desk. Your badge, Marcus. With shaking fingers, Marcus unclipped the badge. Serena snicked the plastic card in half and dropped it into the waste bin. Marcus Hale, you are terminated effective immediately for gross misconduct. You will receive no severance. I will be challenging your unemployment claim personally. I'll sue, Marcus cried. I have more lawyers than you have followers, Serena shrugged. She turned to the influencers. Make sure you tag the terminal. I want the world to know that under new management, we don't tolerate bullies. You got it, boss, they shouted. Get your things, Serena commanded. You have 5 minutes. Nate will escort you. As Marcus trudged toward his office, defeated, he didn't realize that his day was about to get much worse. The high-net-worth client he had been desperate to impress, Derek Wayne, the richest man in the Midwest, had just walked through the side entrance and heard every word. Marcus hurriedly shoved his items into a box and reached for his phone to call Wayne, hoping to spin the story. But as he stepped back into the lobby, he saw Derek Wayne shaking hands with Serena. Mr. Wayne, Marcus rushed forward. Sir, thank God. This woman is a tyrant. She's destroying the brand. Derek Wayne slowly unbuttoned his overcoat, looking at Marcus with disgust. I arrived 10 minutes ago, Marcus. I was standing in the vestibule. I heard you screaming. I heard you weaponize the police against a woman because of her clothes. Marcus's knees buckled. Sir, it was a lapse in judgment. It was a revelation of character, Wayne corrected. I don't do business with bigots. Dr. Cross, if you are the new owner, my fleet stays here, assuming, of course, the trash has been fully taken out. Serena smiled. The facility is currently being sanitized, Mr. Wayne. Marcus walked out into the rain, the same rain he had tried to force Serena into. He sat in his car and checked his phone. 4.2 million views. Karen manager gets owned. His phone buzzed. It was a recruiter from a luxury firm in Dubai he had been courting. Mr. Hale, we are rescinding our offer. We cannot employ a man who is the face of discrimination on the internet. Marcus had played a game of status his entire life, assuming the rules were written in his favor. He was wrong. He had to move back to his parents' house in another state. He opened a travel app to book a flight. He couldn't afford first class anymore. He scrolled past business, past economy plus. He selected a ticket, economy, middle seat, boarding group 5. At the airport, he stood in the long, crowded security line, wearing the same style of hoodie Serena had worn. He shuffled forward, holding a plastic bin for his shoes. Move it along, a TSA agent shouted. Marcus flinched. He found his row, 38B, the very back of the plane. The smell of the lavatory was overpowering. As he squeezed into his seat, the teenager next to him looked up from a phone. "Dude, no way," the kid whispered. "It's you, the Apex aviation guy. You're the one who got wrecked by the billionaire." "Leave me alone," Marcus hissed, pulling his hood up. "Hey everyone," the kid shouted to the plane. "We got the Apex zombie in 38B. Phones were raised. Camera flashes began to flicker. Marcus shrank into his seat, but there was nowhere to go. The engines roared to life, drowning out his sobs, but they couldn't drown out the whispers. Karma didn't fly private. It sat in the middle seat, and it never missed a flight. Serena Cross had given him exactly what he had given her. A public stage where he was judged not by his suit or his title, but by the content of his character. And in the end, Marcus Hale discovered that when you treat the world like trash, the world eventually finds a way to throw you out.
Thank you for watching the video. Please click on the subscribe button. Also, like and comment below, and don't forget to share. See you in the next video.